hope you're having a great day. Today we are doing a little bit of cooking here in the kitchen. It's Watcha Cookin' Wednesday, and we are making some scones that I have been wanting to make for a long time, and I never have done it, but every time I see the video, I am like salivating. They look so dang good. And I've been dying to make them for a while. And I decided that today was the day. Today was the day we're going to make these scones and see if they are as delicious as they look online. So that's the plan. We are about to go on a sugar fast the end of next week. I've been saying for at least half a year that, and don't judge me, but when Griffin gets out of school, he's going on a sugar fast, and he's not doing it alone. I'm doing it as well. Andrew sugar isn't really a temptation for him, so he is going to be giving up a couple of other things. But we're doing a sugar fast until July 4th. And so I thought, you know what? This is my last opportunity. Let's get these made before we start our sugar fast. And we'll get to enjoy these a little bit before we have to stop eating sugar. So y'all know that I went through a long time period where I quit eating sugar. I have really badly gotten back into it. And of course, Griffin is also really addicted to sugar. And so we're doing a little bit of a fast beginning when school ends to help us all, because Griffin and I specifically, have a really bad addiction to sweets and to sugar. And so just to kind of help us with our cravings and to not crave it as badly, hopefully, that's what we're doing. So let's make some scones that are full of sugar to enjoy before we give it up for a month, okay? This recipe is not my recipe. It is from a girl on Instagram. Her page is called She Likes Milk, and she has a roadside like farm stand, but she sells baked goods in that farm stand. I think that last summer was like her first year doing it, and she did scones predominantly, and her scones always looked so good. They don't look dry. They don't look crumbly. They look moist and delicious. And I've been wanting to try this specific recipe ever since I found it. Ever since I saw the video, I thought that looks absolutely incredible. So we're trying it out today. Okay. So She Likes Milk. That is the website. And her Instagram page and Facebook page, shelikesmilk.com, is the website where you can get the recipe. I will be sure to share the link as well whenever I share a picture with y'all. Jessalyn knows it. She's super cute little girl. Well, I mean, I don't know how old she is, but anyways, she's adorable, and she makes the most delicious looking scones. So, all right. Hi, Dale. Hello, Jamie. Hi, Linda. Hey, Carol. Hi, Clarence and Brewster and Jessalyn. Hi, Trisha. She says she's going to join me on that fast. Hey, Pam. Happy Wednesday. Okay, so let's get into it. All right. Let's see how these scones turn out. And I think I'm also, because I am planning to, I'm just going to go ahead when we're done with this. We're going to make some potato salad, loaded baked potato salad, because I have a bunch of potatoes cooked left over from the shrimp boil that my husband did at church. And I'm hoping that Andrew's going to be grilling some steaks tonight. So we're going to make some potato salad to go with our steaks. Okay. So let's get into it. Okay. So I got the recipe off of her website, She Likes Milk. And let's see here. I'm going to bake at 350. So I'm going to go ahead and get my oven preheated. Okay. All right. So let's start with the dry ingredients. Okay, I'll have to check that one out, Jessalyn. All right, so let's start with the dry ingredients. We need 2.5 cups of flour. Let me get a butter knife. Okay. Hello, Marie. All right, so all-purpose flour, 2.5 cups. This is a 1/2 cup measure because it's what fits in my new jars. I'm sacrificing y'all for the look. So I need, this is now 1 cup. 1. And a half. There's 2 and a 1/2 cups. Yep, 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Okay. All right. Then a tablespoon of baking powder. That's a lot of baking powder, isn't it? 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Hopefully it's here. Y'all, it's actually rained here today. We've been needing some rain. All right, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, just 1/4. I really need to buy some more measuring spoons. I'm going to use table salt rather than kosher salt because sometimes I feel like I end up getting, there's 1/4, I end up getting big pieces. Okay. 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And I would say if you are like allergic to cinnamon, you could leave this out. I do have some people that are allergic to cinnamon. So a 1/2 teaspoon. Hello over on YouTube. I've had a really great day today. I've been finishing up with my patriotic decor and just getting the house kind of put back together. So I'm really excited to do a tour with you all, possibly tomorrow. We'll see. Okay, 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Okay, 1/4 cup of brown sugar. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? I was expecting regular sugar. Okay, 1/4 cup of brown sugar. It's not very much. And 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar. Hi, Dorothea. So 2 tablespoons of regular sugar. 1, 2. Okay, let's make sure we got everything. So we got, in our dry ingredients, 2.5 cups of flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar in our dry mixture. Let me grab a whisk and we'll whisk this up. That is not very much sugar in here. I'm shocked by that. All right. Here we go. Okay, dry ingredients are mixed. We're going to set this aside, okay? Now we're going to move on to the wet ingredients. Okay, let me get the buttermilk. So she always puts buttermilk in her scones. Always. We are making peach cobbler scones today. Okay, let me grab, you know what, let's just do this instead of using this. Let's use this. Okay, so for our dry ingredients, we need an egg. I will try to save you one, Trisha. No, I'm just kidding. I'll definitely will have some left over for sure. Okay, so 1 egg, 1 cup of buttermilk. Now see, I should have done the buttermilk first. Just gotta dirty up more dishes. Oh well, it is what it is, y'all. Okay, a cup of buttermilk. She confused me by putting the egg first. Okay, a cup of buttermilk, the 1 egg, and then a teaspoon of vanilla, which I am almost out of. Now this recipe calls for vanilla bean paste, which I don't have, but I do have vanilla beans. So I think I'm gonna use the vanilla beans. I'm gonna just use the rest of this vanilla in here. Let me grab a fork and we'll mix this together. This is the wet ingredients. Notice we haven't added any butter or oil yet. That comes in with cold butter and it's grated. So we've got to do that part. Let's get this egg really well mixed up in here. I hate it how egg does that. You know how it comes like gets those bits that don't like to separate. Okay, that's the wet. So now we need to do the butter. All right, and it calls for 12 tablespoons of cold butter grated. So I have my food processor here set up because I do not have a regular cheese grater. I only have a microplane. So I've got my food processor set up to grate, and I've got 2 sticks of butter that have been in the fridge. Is it, Sabrina? So 8. So we need 1 full stick. Okay, and then 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1.5 sticks of cold butter, grated. Okay, there's the butter. So then she takes the butter and puts it into the dry mixture and works it until it becomes a like mealy texture. So let's get all the butter out, and then she works it with her hands. That's what she says. She says, mix into the dry ingredients with your hands until it reaches a mealy texture. So she doesn't use a pastry blender or whatever it's called. She uses her hands. Oh, really, Carolyn? So she says that this gives her scones a very flaky texture, almost biscuit-like. Like I said, her scones, they never look dry like traditional scones sometimes are. you know, they're so super dry. You need like coffee or tea with them. I'm just gonna keep working this butter in here until it looks like the right texture. My hand is getting tired. All right, I would say that that is pretty good. Okay, so this is what we have. I just made a mess, but that's what we got going on here. Okay, so now we need our peaches, which I have not even drained or anything. I just went with canned peaches because I'm not so sure that fresh peaches are going to be very good from the grocery store. And so I decided to just do canned peaches just to make sure that they're going to be good. I suppose you could also do frozen peaches thawed. It doesn't specify. It just says a cup of chopped peaches. Yes, there is milk. We're using buttermilk in this recipe. We've already got our wet mixture here. We've got an egg and a cup of buttermilk and a teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, so let's get our peaches cut up. Grab a little cutting board over here. Teresa, we are making peach cobbler scones today. So I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'm not thinking that I need to cut them super small, so I'm just really just slicing the peach slices. That seems right to me. Are they, Joellen, from the peach truck? Did you buy them from the peach truck? The peach truck doesn't come here until, I think it's June. I'm thinking 1 can is enough, but we'll see. We'll measure and make sure that this is enough. This one looks really thick. I'm gonna just cut it in half. All right, maybe I should measure. So it's looking like we are at a cup. Look at that. Perfect. There we go. Okay, we have some extras to snack on. Oh, wow. That's a good deal, Joellen. Okay, so we have our peaches. All right, so we did our butter. Now we got to do our wet mixture. And it says to mix until just combined. And it does say that this is supposed to be sticky. All right, I'm gonna go on and add my peaches. It looks like it's not gonna be sticky enough. She does say that you can add more buttermilk or flour depending upon how dry it is. So basically how wet your peaches are. We definitely need more buttermilk because this doesn't look quite wet enough to me. Okay, so I'm going to grab, and she says, folded peaches, you want the dough to be sticky enough to stick to your hands. Add more flour, 1 tablespoon at a time if too wet from the peaches, or more buttermilk, 1 tablespoon at a time if it feels too dry. I'm gonna go 2 tablespoons because it's feeling very dry to me. I'm gonna go a little bit more. I'm gonna go 2 more tablespoons. Maybe my egg was smaller. Okay. I feel like that's starting to look right. She said it should stick to your hands. It sticks to my hands. I think we're there. Okay. So now spread into a circle on a baking sheet and cut into serving sizes the same way you would a pizza. She doesn't say if the baking sheet is supposed to be sprayed or not. I'm going to opt to not spray it. I'm thinking like chocolate chip cookies, I would not spray. So we're going to go for it. All right. So you put it onto the baking sheet in the shape of a circle. You know what? Let me clear this stuff out a little bit. I'm still going to need some of this. Let me just make some space here so that I can do this and y'all can see. Okay. Parchment paper. I don't have any parchment paper. But that's a good idea. It's a good idea. But I don't have any parchment. What do y'all think? You know what? Let's just take some butter. I got some butter right here. Let's just take some butter and I'm going to put some butter just right here in the middle. Kind of where I think this is going to go. All right. Onto the baking sheet it goes. All right, and I know that she doesn't say how thick it's supposed to be. So I'm just guessing based upon her videos and what I've seen her do. I'm guessing this looks about right. This is about an 10-inch, I would say, round. Okay, I'm going to kind of press the outsides in a little bit. Okay. Now, she does say that she goes on and cuts it. And I know that I have seen her use her bench scraper or pastry cutter. Where is mine at? Here it is. This is my pastry cutter. All right. So we're going to cut it into, and I don't know if she does this with flour or not. Okay, but we're going to cut it into 8 servings. Okay, We shall see, right? We shall see. You never had scones, Teresa? Okay, so now we have to set this to the side because we have to do a crumble that's going to go on top. But this is looking good. I feel confident. All right, let me set this away. Let me get another bowl here, and we're going to make our crumble. So for the crumble, we need a tablespoon of melted butter. All right, so I'm going to stick that in there and then microwave this 30 seconds. And we need 2 tablespoons of flour and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Okay. Oh my goodness. Y'all, you're going to have to make this then. Hopefully, I think it's going to be really good. So hopefully it's really good, and then y'all have to give this a try. You know, someone said parchment. I do think the girl that makes these uses parchment with hers. Okay, so we need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. 1, 2. And then we need 2 tablespoons of flour. 1, 2. Okay. Then we mix this up. Until we have a crumb mixture. And then we're going to sprinkle this on top. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put this on the top here. I'm just going to crumble it. This is looking very pretty, y'all. Okay. All right, so there is a glaze that goes on top when it comes out of the oven. Jennifer, I will be posting it, but it's from the website shelikesmilk.com, and it's peach cobbler scones. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm also going to get rid of some of this stuff, get it out of the way so we can make potato salad. So, hang on just a second. Okay, so bake this at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes or until lightly golden on the edges. All right? So this is what it looks like, kind of like a pizza. Hopefully it's right. It's going in. Timer for 20 minutes. Okay. All right, I'm going to get this stuff out of the way. And while that's baking, we're going to make some potato salad. Okay. So we're going to have a good dinner tonight. This is going to be a good dinner. Right. Now, how do you all like your potato salad? Do you like it Do you like a mustard-based potato salad? Do you like a mayonnaise-based potato salad? Do you prefer your potatoes mushy? Do you prefer your potatoes to be like chunks of potatoes? I'm curious. Everybody, I think, is a little picky with their potato salad. So Andrew made a low country boil for the guys at church on Sunday. And they had a ton of potatoes left over. And so I thought, I'm going to try and use up as much of these as I can. I'm not going to be able to use them all up. But I thought potato salad would be a really good way to use them. Now, on Monday, I think it was, I took the potatoes and put them on a cookie sheet and took a drinking glass, and smashed them. And then I just sprayed them with ham and sprinkled them with salt and pepper and onion powder and baked them in the convection oven. Well, they were delicious. So that's one way to use them. But we're going to make potato salad. So this is leftovers. There is potatoes in here. These are all cooked. There's also sausage in here, which we had on Monday. And there's onions in here. We're not going to be using the sausage or the onions. We're just going to be using the potatoes. Let me see if I have a bowl that I can put this potato salad in. Thank you, Dana, for sharing that. All right, so I'm going to grab some potatoes. These potatoes also still have garlic on them because these were cooked in the broth mixture for the low country boil. So they have a lot of flavor, but they're just the small little potatoes. And so these are perfect for a loaded baked potato salad. If you've never had this type of potato salad, it's actually my mother-in-law is who started this whole potato salad idea. Actually, I think Kroger's was selling one like this. I don't know if they still do. And so she made it, and it kind of, it was popular. She hasn't made it in a long time. So I'm just going to take these potatoes and cut them up into bite-sized pieces. They're already cold. This salad, though, I'm thinking about baking it off for dinner tonight to go with the steaks. Chopped sweet pickles with 2 tablespoons of pickle juice and lots of mayonnaise. So my favorite potato salad is not this one, actually. My favorite potato salad, my Meemaw makes. And it is mayonnaise base, and it's got relish and hard-boiled eggs, pimentos, onion, celery, and it is my favorite. I absolutely love it. Every time she makes it, she gives me some because it's like my favorite. It's just like my favorite. I think I love it the most. Oh, really, Dana? It's so funny because there's so many variations and versions of potato salad. Everybody has a different, I think, taste for it, you know? Like, I don't want any mustard in my potato salad, and I don't really love for my potatoes to be hard and chunky, you know? I like, when my Meemaw makes hers, she cuts the potatoes up while they're warm and mixes it while they're warm. And so it just gets real smooth and creamy, and it's still got pieces, big pieces of potato in it. But it's just, I don't know. comes together more. It's like a mixture of mash and chunk. So this recipe is one of those where you can, there's no like measurement to it. You just kind of add whatever ingredients you like. They are, aren't they, Teresa? Everybody has, and like German potato salad. Andrew's family sometimes does German potato salad. You know, there's just so many different variations. And so I don't know if you would do this type of potato with a regular potato salad because we're leaving the skins on. But it works for this type of potato salad because it's a loaded baked potato salad. But if you were doing a regular potato salad, I don't know if you'd want the skins on. I've never had a regular potato salad with skin on. What do y'all think? Mayo, mustard, red and russet potatoes, green onions, hard-boiled eggs, black olives, really. Salt and pepper. Mix it while the potatoes are warm. Yes, that's the way I like it. This is obviously not going to be done that way because these potatoes are already cooked and they are been in the fridge, so they're cold. But this is definitely using up a good amount of these potatoes. Some of these I'm cutting into quarters. Some of them I'm cutting even more than that. I don't know. There's really... You think it would work with the skins too? When is dinner? I'm coming over, right? I'm hoping that the weather is going to cooperate so that Andrew can cook the steaks outside because I don't want to make a mess of my kitchen by cooking my steaks in here. We're going to go ahead and do a few more. Get a few more in here. Okay. Well, there you go. So this is a great opportunity, a great way to use these types of potatoes left over. I gave some of the potatoes to Trisha and some to Annette. And I was thinking about ideas of ways you could use them. You could also just stick them on a sheet tray. Maybe cut them in half or into quarters, put them on a sheet tray with olive oil and like some rosemary, salt, pepper, and roast them till they get a little crunchy. That would be great. There are so many ways to use leftover cooked potatoes like this. All right, we are just about done chopping our potatoes. I almost said tomatoes. Yes, a cast iron skillet. Yes, Dana, for the steak. Yeah, I just don't want to make a mess of my kitchen, you know. That's what I'm hoping I don't have to do. I'm hoping I don't have to fry those steaks up in here. All right, last one. This should be good. Okay, so now, potato soup, great idea. Okay, let me get the rest of the ingredients for the potato salad. Okay, so it's basically whatever you would put in a baked potato. I'm using blended cottage cheese instead of mayonnaise or sour cream. The recipe usually calls for sour cream and mayonnaise. It's a mixture of the two. And then I'm going to use some bacon. All I have is the microwavable bacon. So I'm going to microwave that. You can also use bacon bits, which is typically what she would use for this. But since I've got this bacon and not bacon bits, then I'm going to use this bacon. And 5 pieces is what it's going to be. Since that's all I got. All right, let's get that cooking. We're going to use some green onions. I'm going to grab a couple of green onions and let me go wash these real quick. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. I may end up needing more green onions. We'll see how this goes. Parmesan cheese, onion powder. Absolutely. That would be delicious as well. Andrew asked me the other day when I made those smashed potatoes if I put Parmesan on them, and I said I didn't, but I should have because that would have been really good. So that would be delicious as well. Let's see. I think I'm going to need more green onions. Let's get them in here and see. I'm going to do one more green onion, I think. Okay. I'm just slicing them. That sounds good, that potato salad. All right, I did 1 minute. I think that's probably good enough. They look nice and crispy. I love that microwavable bacon. It is so nice to have in your pantry. All right, let's chop the bacon. It needs to cool a little bit. But there it goes. The ends are still a little undercooked, but we're gonna make this work. So chopping our bacon bits here. Bacon goes in, and then we need shredded cheese. And I just use whatever kind of shredded cheese I have. Today I've got the Mexican style. We always buy a big bag because it gets eaten up in this house. Okay, then we're gonna add some salt to this. A little bit more, and we're going to do some pepper, which I still haven't refilled my crock over there. Okay, and then like I said, typically the recipe would have mayonnaise and sour cream, but I'm going to use blended cottage cheese because I have that today, and well, it's lesser calories. All right, let's start mixing this. Y'all, how easy is that? It's very easy. It's very easy potato salad, especially because you don't have to peel the potatoes, which is so nice. I think we're gonna need more. Maybe, we'll see. Okay, 5 more minutes on our scones, and then we gotta check them. So what do y'all think? Serving this with steak, should I leave it cold or should I bake it? What do you think would be better? is looking good. I don't know, I might have enough once I get it all mixed in. You think cold? Right? Bacon and potato just goes hand in hand. Teresa says bake it. I wasn't sure because I thought I've never had potato salad and steak together, but because it's loaded baked potato salad, sounded really good. All right, we are looking pretty good. All right, we need to taste this. See how it tastes.
What's that?
Potato salad.
I thought you were making dessert.
They're in the oven. All right, let me go get a spoon. Let's see if it's any good. See what I think. Like I said, never made it with cottage cheese. You would bake it. You would want to bake it. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. I like it. Pretty good potato salad. And so it's going to get even better as it sits until dinner time. But that tastes right. All of y'all are saying just to leave it cold, except for one person, I think. Y'all need to try this. If you've never had it, I know a lot of y'all say that you've never had it. You need to try it. A lot of people, what we have found is more people like this than like regular potato salad. When we have, you know, cookouts and things like that, it seems like more people enjoy this type of potato salad than they do a regular potato salad. And I think it's because the ingredients that are in this potato salad are less scary, if that makes sense. You know, some people don't like celery. Some people, really a lot of people don't like celery. A lot of people don't like relish. A lot of people don't like hard-boiled eggs. I'm trying to think of other things that are in potato salad. But there's very few people who don't like cheese and bacon. You know what I mean? Very few. Now, some people don't like onions, but green onions aren't as bad. Most people are okay with green onions. So that's it, y'all. So I am thinking you could bake this and it would be delicious as well. Put it in a casserole dish, maybe even like a small dish, and put some cheese on top and then bake it 350 until it gets warm and bubbly. That would be really good as well. It would almost be like a potato casserole. That would be so yummy. So that is our potato salad. So it's your potatoes, green onions, cheddar cheese, or some kind of shredded cheese, and bacon. Okay, and then you can use mayonnaise and sour cream. I chose to use cottage cheese today, so you choose what works best for you. Typically, we use cottage cheese, or I'm sorry, typically we use mayonnaise and sour cream. All right, let's check our scones, and we've got to make the glaze that goes on top. Let me put this stuff away. Let's see, let me cover this with some plastic wrap and stick it in the fridge. And Dale's ready for some potato salad. Boy, boy, do I love potato salad. Okay. All right, let's check them. See how they look. Oh boy. So I think it's done. It's starting to get brown around the edges. It's spread a lot more than I thought. This is what it looks like. I'm not sure if I should give it more time. Let me refer back to the recipe. Let's see what it says. It says 20 to 25 minutes or until lightly golden on edges. I think it's lightly golden on the edges, don't y'all? It doesn't say to test it, but I feel like I want to test it. Should I test it? I think I'm going to use this paring knife. I just washed it. And I think I'm going to test it in the middle. Still looks, okay, it's done. All right, very good. So pull those out. I'm going to turn this off. So now we can make our glaze. Okay? Let me grab a rag, clean this off, and let's make our glaze. Okay. So for the vanilla glaze, we're going to combine a half a cup of powdered sugar, a tablespoon of brown sugar, and a half a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. And then we add water until it becomes thick. So let me grab the brown sugar. It says a tablespoon of brown sugar, which my tablespoon is dirty. Let me wash it real quick. That we use. They don't look as pretty as hers. But let's see, does she say when to cut them again? She doesn't say. I don't know if I wait until they cool to cut them again or cut them now. A tablespoon of brown sugar. Okay, let me go get the powdered sugar. Okay, a quarter of a cup of powdered sugar. A half a cup of powdered sugar. Not a quarter, a half. Hi, Belinda. Half a cup of powdered sugar. Okay, and then vanilla bean paste. She says a half a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. Here's the deal. Kayla doesn't have any vanilla bean paste, but I do have these vanilla beans. So let's use one vanilla bean, if I can get it out. How the heck am I gonna get it out? Just like that. Okay, I've never used a vanilla bean before, so I'm quite excited about this. All right, so let's cut the vanilla bean with a paring knife. Ooh, look at that. That is vanilla bean paste, because this vanilla has been sitting, this bean's been sitting in that vanilla. All right, and then you use the back of this knife, right, to get that out. Okay. that is not, here's a little bit right here. We don't want to waste that, right? We need to get all of that goodness in there. Okay. All right, y'all. What do you think? You think the one's enough? I think it should be because it's, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so let's do water. I'm going to get some water over here. All right, and she says 1 tablespoon at a time, or she says 1 tablespoon of water. Whisk until smooth, add a tablespoon at a time. If it's too thick. I think it's, looks pretty good. Let's see if we can get all this up here. Okay. I don't know. I think it'll be fine. Honestly, it looks like it's thick enough. Because it's got a good, what do you call that? Looks good. Let's taste it. It tastes good. It tastes good. Okay. All right, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this again. She said to wait. Top the scones with glaze once out of the oven and have cooled for at least 5 minutes. So, what do y'all think? Has it been 5 minutes? I'm gonna cut them again. These are big. Oh my gosh. It's gonna be really hard to not dig into this right now. I hope they're done. I'm scared. I'm scared they're not done, y'all. It came out clean though. It did come out clean. Okay. Let me move all this so that I can put the glaze on. Yeah, baby?
Can I have a flashlight out of your room?
A flashlight? Where is there a flashlight in my room?
In your drawer, probably. I need to use one real quick.
I don't have a flashlight in my drawer.
No, in Daddy's. In the drawer.
Oh, it's in his drawer?
It's in the drawer.
That's fine. Okay. What do y'all think? All right. Let me get a spoon. All right, here we go. Let's get the glaze on. These are gorgeous. Okay, that's it, y'all. There they are. I can't wait to try them. I'm gonna have to try a little bit. off of an edge over here. I just really hope it's done. Okay. Because you know y'all want to see it. Okay, there's the inside. Look how moist that looks. It looks delicious. We can get some more glaze on top. All right, here it goes. Oh my gosh. Y'all have got to make these. You have got to make these. Holy crap. Those are yummy. Okay. So, you know how I said it didn't have much sugar in it? It didn't. Which, that's kind of nice, right? But it's because they're biscuity. They're more biscuity. And more like, yeah, like a biscuit is what it reminds me of, but like a delicious biscuit that's got, you know, brown sugar and peaches and cinnamon. It's yummy. I can't wait to have one of these tonight. So y'all need to try this. The recipe has been posted a couple of times by you all, so thank you all so much. I will post a picture tonight and I will share the recipe again. Again, it's shelikesmilk.com and it is the peach cobbler scones. Okay, peach cobbler scones. Be sure to give her a follow because she makes some really great looking stuff. All different flavors of scones. And I'm excited about these. Very excited. They're yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me today. This was a fun live. We made potato salad and scones. And hopefully we're going to have some steaks on the grill for dinner and some kind of vegetable and peach cobbler scones. All right, y'all. I love you guys, and I'll see you all soon. Don't forget to check out our new arrivals on the website because we got a lot of new antique or vintage stuff on the website. We also have other new items, so you can comment new for a link to all of our new arrivals. And don't forget about our mini DIY decor box. It is a one-time thing. It is for celebrating America, our 250th anniversary. You can get it now and it will ship out next month. So you do not want to miss that, okay? It's $19.99 and again, it's a one-time thing, no subscription required. Karen, the recipe I will post later. It has been posted here in the comments. But it is from She Likes Milk, and it's her peach cobbler scones, okay? All right, I love you guys, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye, everybody.